All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Scientists at CERN have openly admitted they are trying to open a doorway to another dimension. Many believe the dimensional doorway they plan to open is the doorway straight to hell. By breaking the seventh seal and unleashing the ancient gods, or fallen ones, back to Earth to rule over humanity once again.
Welcome to the WTF Files. The ultimate aim of all science, to penetrate the unknown. The greatest mystery is right here, right under our feet. These are the stories that will make you say, WTF.
CERN is the largest scientific consortium in the world, involving thousands of top physicists from 21 member states, all working in tandem to discover the fundamental element that holds the universe together. While this is admitted objective of CERN seems innocent enough, and even laudable in a sense, there are deep concerns about potential unintended consequences, and probable occult intentions. In a perfect world, the greatest accomplishment would be the product of goodwill toward men, and the desire for peace and prosperity on Earth. However, in the practical world, the world in which we live in, the greatest accomplishments of modern science are often facilitated and funded by men who have anything but goodwill and peace on their minds. On the 10th of September 2008, the largest and most complex, and most expensive machine ever devised by man, was turned on. The Large Hadron Collider, or LHC, is a 17-mile-long ring of superconducting electromagnets, buried approximately 300 feet beneath the ground, near the city of Geneva, on the Franco-Swiss border. Chilled to temperatures colder than the void of outer space, and generating a magnetic field more than 100,000 times that of the Earth. This machine accelerates proton particle beams, to a velocity just under the speed of light, and then smashes them together in particle detector chambers, in order to break apart the nuclei and unloose the subatomic secrets of matter. At full power, the LHC produces roughly 600 million collisions per second, creating fleeting minuscule atomic explosions up to 1,000,000 times hotter than the interior of the Sun. The data collected from these collisions is processed by the worldwide LHC computing grid, one of the most extensive and powerful computing grids on the planet. The grid, as it is known, builds on the technology of the World Wide Web, which was invented at CERN in 1989. Scientists are rarely the evil villains, scheming sinister plots in secret laboratories that Hollywood often portrays in the movies. With a few glaring exceptions, of course. And are usually zealously dedicated to their particular field of study, with noble intentions at heart. However, this kind of religious commitment to science can engender blind willful ignorance concerning the overarching implication and the ill intentions of the benefactors facilitating their work. This is certainly the case of the brilliant men and women working at CERN, most of who naively believe that the prime objective of their research is to merely understand what the universe is made of, and how it all started, at the Big Bang. Unfortunately, what they fail to realize, apart from the fact that they're working from a false premise to begin with, is that their research is very likely being used to advance a hidden agenda, the conspirators of which are well aware of who created the universe, and are absolutely intent on making war with him, and enthroning another in his place. CERN is an acronym derived from the French rendition of the designation European Council for Nuclear Research, which was a provisional council organized in the early 1950s, with critical backing from the United Nations, whose task was to plan for the construction of a multinational European research facility that would be dedicated to the study and advancement of nuclear physics. On the 29th of September 1954, the Provisional Council was dissolved, and the European Organization for Nuclear Research, or CERN, was born. Although the Provisional Council had been dissolved, paradoxically, the acronym of CERN remained, even though it did not correspond to the title of the new organization. It was distinguished physicist and one of the key pioneers of quantum mechanics, Werner Karl Heisenberg, who had inexplicably insisted that the original acronym of CERN remain in effect. Werner Heisenberg understood very well what quantum physics implied for humanity. Inhering within this theoretical realm, populated by obtuse equations and pipe-smoking scientists, lies what scientists call The Babylon potential. This is the secret knowledge, the scientific imperative, informed and driven by spiritual advisors, that the Bible cites as the key to opening a gateway for the gods. It is Entemulaki, Babalu, the opening of the Abzu, the doorway to hell. Although Heisenberg may or may not have known. CERN is an abbreviated title for an ancient Celtic deity called Cernunnos. Cernunnos, whose name means Horned One, is thought to be the god of death and rebirth, and the lord of the underworld. He is often depicted with rings or torques around his stag-like horns, or in his hands, which may symbolize the circle of destruction and restoration that he represents. To further concretize this idea, Cernunnos is also depicted with the ring in one hand, and a snake in the other. Because of the cycle by which it sheds its skin, the snake has ever been a mystical motif of death and rebirth, destruction and restoration. On the 18th of June 2004, a 2-meter-high statue bequeathed by the representatives of India's Department of Atomic Energy was ceremoniously unveiled at CERN. It was a statue of the Hindu god Shiva, engaged in the Nataraga, the cosmic dance of destruction. Shiva is one of 3 members of the Trimurti, the Hindu trinity in which the cosmic functions of creation, preservation, and destruction are personified in the forms of Brahma the creator, Vishnu the preserver, and Shiva the destroyer, who is also known as the transformer. Occultists have always been aware of this fact. Even E. Francis Bacon, and his scientific contemporaries, many of whom were members of the mystery school, deciphering the mechanisms of the material world was but the means to a far more important objective: to make contact with the entities lurking on the other side of the veil. This veil is often described as a dimensional doorway that allows access into realms beyond the perceivable world. Many top physicists are quietly hoping that the proton collisions happening at the Large Hadron Collider will puncture the fabric of our 4-dimensional confines and allow us to peek through the keyhole into another dimension or alternate universe. Sergio Bertolucci, Director for Research and Scientific Computing at CERN, made the following curious statement. The Large Hadron Collider could open a doorway to an extra dimension, and out of this doorway might come something, or we might actually send something through it. There is no question that the scientists working at CERN hope to open a dimensional doorway. The real question is, what is the something that might come through when they do? There are many indications that the power players of our world, including the Vatican, are preparing to make contact with the gods of the old world. There is no shortage of theoretical doomsday scenarios, many of which have not been propounded by unlimited laymen such as myself, but by some of the most esteemed scientific minds in the world. The following is a brief list of the theoretical possibilities relating to the activities of CERN, and is by no means exhaustive. Number 1. Black holes. Perhaps the greatest fear among theoretical physicists concerning the LHC is that it might create uncontainable, miniature black holes that could descend to the core of the planet and literally devour it from within. It is important to note that black holes are only theoretical constructs and have never been proven to exist. Black holes were first discovered as purely mathematical solutions of Einstein's field equations, and are not necessary in Tesla's electric universe model. To date, black holes are science fiction. Number 2. Antimatter weapons. Unlike black holes, antimatter is not theoretical. Not only can it be measured, but it is already being created and contained in the LHC, though in very small quantities, for only short periods of time, according to CERN. Antimatter has enormous explosive potentials. 1/4 gram of antimatter can produce an explosive yield equivalent to 5 kilotons of TNT. If CERN develops the capability to create and store significant amounts of antimatter, and many claim CERN has already accomplished this, then highly destructive antimatter weapons will be developed. The advantages of antimatter bombs, for example, are very great, and that they could produce atomic-level explosions without residual nuclear fallout. Number 3. Particle beam weapons. A directed beam of high-energy subatomic particles, moving at extreme velocity, such as the ones produced in the LHC, are capable of obliterating matter at the molecular level. Particle beam weapons are already on the battlefield, especially in Black Ops warfare. The research at CERN will certainly expand and refine their military applications. Number 4. Time distortion and stargates. It has been suggested that by colliding heavier subatomic particles, such as lead ions, which CERN will soon be doing, space and time could be distorted, creating what Einstein called a Rosen bridge, or stargate, which is basically a wormhole, between two different locations, dimensions, or periods of time. It has also been suggested that such distortions in the space-time continuum could lead to what has been referred to as the Groundhog Day effect, in which time folds back on itself, allowing villainous types to be able to create manipulations of the past. Number 5. DNA sequencing and artificial synthesis. Since it is a fact that the synchrotron collider at Berkeley, in Walnut Creek, California, was used to help sequence human DNA for the Human Genome Project, it is certainly feasible that the Large Hadron Collider could also be employed in a similar way, but with much more precise results. There is evidence to suggest that artificial human, or human hybrid genomes, have already been synthesized at collider facilities, including CERN. Number 6. Strangelets. Produced from a quark gluon plasma soup, sometimes generated after high-energy particle collisions, strangelets are the most explosive substance in the known universe, and according to theoretical physicists, were responsible for the explosion at the Big Bang. Contrary to popular belief, strangelets are not theoretical, but have been confirmed to exist at the Brookhaven National Laboratory, located on Long Island, New York, where physicists working with the Relativistic Heavy Ion Collider, or RHIC, are attempting not only to produce strangelets, but to contain them. The potential gains of this endeavor for the military-industrial complex are self-evident. Because the LHC is a much higher energy collider than the RHIC, strangelet production and containment is even more feasible at CERN. In light of this information, it should give everyone watching this analysis pause, when confronted with the fact that China is even now preparing to construct a super collider twice the size of the one at CERN. There can be no doubt that in the best-case scenario, the world is about to witness the most dangerous, and potentially deadliest arms race in human history. Many believe that the Luciferian priesthood, behind the thrones of the European Union and the United Nations, intend to use CERN as the key to literally open the gates of hell, in order to release the gods that have been imprisoned there. The fallen watchers and arcane entities, bound with chains in the abyss of Tartarus. Their prime objective is the restoration of the Golden Age, when the gods mingled themselves with the seed of men, and their hybrid offspring ruled the earth. By breaking the subatomic bonds of matter, and severing the cords that hold the material world together, mankind will willingly tear open the veil that has been established for humankind's own protection, and blindly unleash a darkness and chaos that the earth has not seen. What gives CERN the right to play God, and risk our lives while they do it? What could come out of CERN may change humanity forever, if not erase it completely.
These are the WTF Files. Subscribe today, and be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Thank you for watching the WTF Files.